Hi, my name is Oliver Losi. I'm a TCM therapist working in Berlin, Germany, and this video is about an eye surgery called PRK. I made a video about another eye surgery which I did on myself called Relex Smile that should still be the state of the art, where you have a very much more modern and comfortable approach, while the PRK is older and more brutal. But I had to do this one because after my Relex Smile operation, there still was a little bit of myopia remaining on my right eye. The procedure itself, the operation itself, went very well. I was very satisfied with, how much time it took, how much pain it caused. Everything was very, very comfortable. Problem was that I was not 100% satisfied with the correction. Then, now 2 years back, I decided to do the re-surgery of the right eye, and we found out that my cornea was not thick enough to do the Relex Smile again. And that is due to the fact that the cornea is made out of skin. Actually, it's just skin cells so well aligned that it becomes crystal clear and light can just shine through undistorted. So if this is a cornea, and this is where you look out, and from this angle light shines in, what the Relex Smile Procedure does is they can adjust the power of the laser beam so that within the cornea it creates a cavity, it cuts it out three-dimensionally, and then the eye surgeon makes a small cut, goes in and pulls that out, presses the whole thing together, and you have a new shaped cornea, which then will be hopefully correcting the too long or the too short form of your eyeball. The same idea was in the earlier procedures by cutting the surface. And when you cut the surface, of course you have a wound afterwards, which is in contact with the outer world, and therefore can create pain and also needs to heal, while sun and wind and dust and whatever comes from outside will have contact with your wound here. So this is painful, and it will take time because epithelial cells will migrate in and create a new blank crystal clear surface. And before they can do that, they need to migrate in, and it will become blurry because they need to organize themselves afterwards. This healing process and organizing process can take, if you're lucky, a month. After PRK, Relex Smile, you can see clearly from the first point on, but not with the PRK, which I did. And if you're unlucky, it can take up to 3 months, which is more or less how long it took for me. And you will see in the upcoming footage right now my experiences on day 1, day 3, after 1 month, and after 1.5 months. And after that, I will tell you how my vision is now, 1 year and 9 months after the PRK surgery on my right eye. So I had just my PRK 4 hours ago, and now it is really painful. Wow. It's like some sandpaper is rubbing on my eyes all the time, and I need to resist the urge to, I don't know, to do whatever, to just tear that thing out or whatever. The operation itself took, as the Relex Smile operation, took only like 2 to 4 seconds. Preparation also only 1 to 4 minutes. And yeah, it was slightly painful afterwards, but now it really is bothering. Wow. The sharpness and crispness of the sight was 2 hours after the operation. It's very good. Meanwhile, it's hard to open the eyes, and being in darkness is a little bit diminishing the pain, but it's not really open. I have to go through this now. They said around 5 days it's gonna take. I really hope it's gonna be different tomorrow, because this is really a pain in the ass. So let's see. So this is day 3 after my surgery on the eye. You see, I can look. I don't need to hold. I'm okay with the sunlight. Actually, it is. I'm in the evening already, so bright sunlight would be too much. I still have the impression that I have some thing in my eye which does not belong there, and my vision is definitely not clear at all. It's blurry. It was crystal clear right after the surgery, and now it's blurry, and I'm not quite sure if this is due to the fact that I still have a contact lens over the region where the operation took place, or if some healing process in the eye impairs the whole thing. But since the last 2 days since the operation, I cannot look properly. Pain has gone down to maybe 15% of what it was used to be, so that's okay. If you can avoid that kind of pain, avoid it. It's really it's terrible. So Relex Smile operation is a milestone, is a quantum leap in terms of comfort of operation. The operation is now 1 month ago. I have no pain. My sight is weird because I can somehow perceive that there is something about 120-125% sharpness, but I have double images laying over each other, and it changes a little bit depending on the time of the day. After waking up, usually it's better, but very soon it becomes unclear, and the unclearness is different than what I had when I was unoperated and was wearing glasses, because then I could go further and I would see, because I was short-sighted. Now it's different. The blurriness stays. It does not matter if I'm like at this distance or far away, it's always a blur. You can get as close as this and still you cannot read properly. Luckily, I only did it at one eye. I would freak out if I would have that on both eyes, but like this, I'm relatively calm. But I must say, like, I started to Google looking for other experiences from other people who had the PRK, and it seemed like nobody makes a video in this certain stage. I still expect it to be good because there's 2 months more to go, but how do you say? patience is wearing thinner than it was at the beginning, of course. Just imagine you made a lens which makes it very, very sharp, but the lens is not made out of clear glass, but out of milk glass. It seems to be an effect like this, because I can see that it somehow focuses properly, but then again not. And this does not change depending on how close or how far away I am from what I want to see. So if I want to read, like this lens from the camera, it is unsharp with this eye, and it has a double picture. So this lens, if I want to look at this lens, it's unclear now, it's unsharp, and it has double images laying over each other. If I go closer, yeah, the double images disappear. Now there are no double images anymore. I can see the lens, but it's still unclear. With regular short-sightedness, it would now be sharp. I would see everything. But here, I go far away, as long as my arm reaches. It gets a double picture, that's why now it's a little bit less clear. But on the other hand, if I give it some time, it can focus. But still, I have the same unclearness which I had when I was close. So this really sucks, because no matter the distance, I cannot get a clear picture. And with two eyes, that would drive me crazy. It's 1.5 months after my PRK operation. My sight is in some ways still like it was. I am unsharp. Like right where the camera is the logo of my smartphone. It has double pictures and it is not sharp. And as it was, it's not getting sharper if I get closer. But at some point I realized when I drive with my car, number plates become crystal clear, like they should be, like perfectly clear. And it happens now with certain kind of contrast between dark and bright. It is mostly with dark text on a bright background. If I have white text on a black background, it's still distorted. So meanwhile, if I would have this on two eyes, I might be able to work. It still would cause me a lot of headache afterwards, because it's a lot of strain and stress involved. And I would still have a pretty hard time to work. So let's see where we will go in the next weeks. There is some improvement now perceivable. It is improving. It's just very, very slow. So how is my vision today? I do have a right eye which should be around 110, 115%. It's very, very clear and goes very, very far. It outshines in its performance now the left eye, which leads to the effect that this formerly dominant eye now at some point is the one which is very often less active. I use this more now when I read, I realize, while this is getting a little bit lazy during the reading process. But most of the time, when I'm just walking around, driving a car, being active, then the right eye is the dominant one. And when I compare those two by blinking, I find out that the left eye is weaker. And because the difference is pretty strong, it feels like the left eye is not very good. That this is a matter of the brain. I can see when I relax, I close my dominant right eye, I look around, and I start to use this left eye more, and suddenly it becomes more clear. But because I'm usually using two eyes, this doesn't happen. So I definitely have switched dominant and submissive eyes. Do you use submissive in that context? I don't know, that's a BDSM term. I'm very satisfied simply because I'm coming from a place with 6.5 minus and 4.5 minus. I'm used to having different dominant, different capable eyesight on the two sides. Now that it's turned around, it's a little weird still, even after these 2 years. But more or less my problem is solved. And so do I recommend this to everybody? No. First of all, PRK is painful, takes a long time. If you are an impatient person or an insecure person, it might drive you nuts. And Relex Smile is a very good procedure, very modern, very comfortable, but still it's a procedure which will change the physicality of your body. And if your body is working more or less in tolerable parameters, which I would say is like 1 dioptrine minus 1.5. So when you need it, you put on glasses. If not, you just leave them away. I would think twice before I do such a change on my body, because we're talking about eyesight. If you are in a phase right now, after a PRK, you're watching this and you are in pain and you're insecure where this road will take you, I think I can give you the security that it will work out. But you need to give it time. You know? I had very weird fractions. Like if you would have a lens, there was like really weird breaks for weeks, and I would doubt the whole thing. And then in the end, it more or less came out perfectly. It might even be, but I don't know if that is true, but it might even be that the clearness of the PRK is better than of the Relex Smile. But that might be different in 3 or 4 years of development anyway. Yeah. Okay, I hope I answered all of your questions, which came out after my video about the Relex Smile operation. And if you have more questions, put them down there, and I will try to answer them in due time. See ya.